to Dear America. I am your host, Liana Mesaikou. Feel free to pronounce it Liana if it's easier. It immediately sounds more Italian, and I'll take any association I can with pizza and Monica Bellucci. Plus, it will make me feel less bad for any American names I might mispronounce, so Liana it is. By the way, sorry, quick thing, in case any of you find my accent a tiny bit alarming, please don't be afraid. I am 100% American. The accent is just something I am trying on because I will be portraying Melania Trump in a Fox-produced biopic, and I decided to go a bit Daniel Day-Lewis, like full-on Daniel Day-Lewis. No, sorry. That was a joke. This is my real accent, and boy, it has made my life in America fun. I know, alas, I'm an immigrant who had the audacity to come to America for a better life. So I just want to say I am so sorry. Please don't take my womb. I was actually born and raised in a semi-shithole country. Okay, if you are already thinking of countries in your head, congratulations, you're semi-racist. I come from Greece, and I am indeed quite fond of our First Lady, Melania Trump. We have quite a few things in common. We are both from the Balkans. I come from Greece, she comes from Slovenia. My country gave birth to democracy. Her husband is killing democracy. My country fought the Nazis. Her husband resurrected, befriended the Nazis. Plus, we both rock in pink. But if you are still wondering, why did this weird sounding person give herself a late night show? Well, the answer is quite simple, because the Daily Show isn't returning my calls. Okay, so Trevor, if you're watching, please feel free to call. I mean, my mom would love to cook you dinner, okay? But anyway, there are quite a few Americans who believe, that why immigrants? Why do you have opinions about America? And the answer is again quite simple, because nobody loves America more than immigrants. Do you realize how much you have to love a country to be willing to die in its streets when you were not even born there? You didn't play on the streets as a kid? Plus, we're kind of willing to offer our opinions for free, and you still won't take them? I mean, we are your therapist, that impartial third party, that sees things clearly and objectively and is here to diagnose you and tell you that, America, seems like you are in a toxic relationship and you deserve better. And Democrats and Republicans, you guys have way more things in common than you realize, okay? Like, for example, half of you are the kind of people who, clap so much they bruise their hands every time they hear "Immigrants, we get the job done" on Broadway, but still somehow failed to invite me in for an interview when I sent my super cool resume for a job I was perfectly qualified for. Whereas the other half managed to somehow bruise my soul every time they hear the sound that my mouth makes, and then they feel free to shout, "Go back to your country!" And I do know that I am actually a privileged immigrant. I mean, I am white, which means that I probably won't get killed by cops on the streets. I just need to watch out for armed 17-year-old patriots. But don't we all at this point? Plus, I live in California, so I get to keep my womb scar. Oh my god, that is great news for my mom, who still hopes I'm gonna make her a grandmother. But I may not want to procreate, but I would like to hold on to my womb, thank you very much. What can I say? I am old-fashioned that way. I also happen to believe in the Equal Rights Amendment, which clearly states in the Constitution, "Keep your fucking hands off my dumb body." Wait, what? It's not in the Constitution yet? Like for real? Well, at least we still have Roe versus Wade. What do you mean, not for long? Wait. Okay, please vote. RBG forever. And now I am gonna start the show for the one person who's still watching after this intro. So let's start with the news. There's something that happened this week that has caused quite a stir. And I'm talking, of course, about Carole Baskin making headlines after the season premiere of Dancing with the Stars, where she danced the Paso Doble to the tune of Eye of the Tiger. No! Like, no. What? No, that's not the piece of news I was talking about. As you might have read, thanks to a very brave whistleblower, nurse Dawn Wooten, we have found out that at an ICE detention facility center in Georgia, immigrant women were allegedly, I have to say that for legal reasons, given partial or full hysterectomies, non-medically justified or required hysterectomies without their consent. Some of them didn't even know what kind of procedure they were getting. Some didn't speak the language. We're talking about sterilization. We're talking about mass hysterectomy. So just want to say, dear Georgia, congratulations, you just became Auschwitz 2.0. I mean, I had no idea there were that many Hulu subscribers in Georgia. I'm willing to bet that there's going to be like a Netflix mini docu-series called The Uterus Collector, way before the actual uterus collector faces any kind of charges. I mean, Georgia, if you really are that into performing medical procedures outside the scope of law, why not, I don't know, give pro bono surgeries to people who are sick and they don't have health insurance and they end up dying completely avoidable, unnecessary deaths in the #1 country on earth? What's that? Oh, you didn't like my idea? Oh, it doesn't have that World War II Germany flair you were going for? Well, I hate to break it to you, Georgia, but even though grabbing women by the pussy might be just simply frowned upon, actually removing women's wombs, that constitutes genocide, and that is a big no-no, okay? And of course, it took a black woman to stand up for those detained immigrant women. So I just want to ask, where are all my white Christian ladies? Where are you all? Dear white Christian women, don't you have any thoughts about this? I'm talking to you, the ones who celebrated the appointment of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court, the ones who supported Roger Moore in Alabama, the ones who make sandwiches and camp outside Planned Parenthood, asking to defund it. Why so silent? Oh wait, were you actually, are you sad? Is that it? Were you actually hoping to pin those immigrant women down on your bed and have like your husband have his way with them so that then you could have their babies? Is that why? What am I saying? Silly me, of course you would never do that. I mean, their children wouldn't be of pure blood, I'm guessing you're thinking. You know, the one that has been proven to be superior by whom again? Oh yeah, Hitler. I'm sorry, I apologize, I took it too far. I was a bit harsh on white Christian women, so let me make it up to you and comfort you with a story. Back when Virgin Mary was pregnant by the divine, a very bad king was slaughtering babies, so she wasn't safe and she had to live with her husband, who wasn't the baby's daddy, and they had to become some kind, let's say, refugees, for lack of a better word. So my point is, dear white Christian women, that if Virgin Mary was at an ICE detention center in Georgia today, Jesus would never have been born. And this way, you can just keep holding on to the illusion that he is white when he actually wasn't. So that, there you go, you're welcome. That was my comforting thought for you, so comfort box check. And now I would actually like to address just one white Christian woman, a personal heroine of mine, my role model, First Lady Melania Trump. Dear Melania, I freaking adore you, okay? Like, I can't believe I'm talking to you. I mean, like, I was still in Grace when you became, like, First Lady. Like, seeing someone who sounds like me hold that role, it gave me hope that one day, maybe an American man will not just want to grab my immigrant pussy, but maybe he'll even want to marry it. I mean, that is why representation matters, you guys. But like, seriously, Melania, you're like my heroine. How did you do it? How did you do it, girl? Girl, like, you are the one immigrant in this country Republicans don't want to deport. Like, what? There are naked pictures of you in bed with another woman going around online. Oh, sorry. Just in case Mike Pence is watching and he's freaking out right now. Mike, no, Melania was not supporting LGBTQ rights. It was an artistic photo shoot. The AC was not working. It was a very hot day in the studio. We're talking about California, climate change, wildfires, hot, so she had to take her clothes off. By the way, Melania, can I ask you for a small favor? Like, if I'm stopped on the street by someone who's wearing a MAGA hat or like has a swastika tattoo, can you please say we're cousins? Like, I promise you, I'm not gonna come after any of that inheritance money. I just want to not die. But like, seriously, girl, like, what's your secret? Republicans couldn't stand to see Michelle Obama wear sleeveless dresses, and there are those pictures of you going around and they still worship you. Are you teaching a masterclass? Maybe you should, you know. I would take it in a heartbeat. And don't even get me started about those liberals. Oh, they love you. They go nuts for you. They never hold you accountable for anything. They make all those jokes about you being a victim, a hostage, unhappy. And every time you slap away Trump's hand, because apparently he didn't give you your check for that month, they think you are revolting. So, girl, you might be the smartest person in that White House. So for that, I respect you. Dear Melania, I was so touched when I watched your speech at the GOP convention this year. You know, you didn't steal one word from Michelle this time, by the way. Congrats. But like, you know, to hear you speak about your American dream fills my heart with so much love. So I just wanna ask, girl, when are you gonna come out and, I don't know, support other immigrants in this country who are trying to pursue their American dream while your husband is trying to make their lives a living hell? And he is actually achieving that, because that is apparently the one thing he's pretty good at. He is raising new obstacles every day, trying to kick more people out of the country, trying to stop others from coming in. Like, where are you, Melania? Girl, when are you gonna speak up for us? You know, aren't we entitled to our American dream? Those of us who chose not to marry an American sugar daddy. Like, what about those immigrant women, you know, at that ICE facility in Georgia? Aren't they entitled to not their American dream, but like basic human rights? Melania, immigrants call Melania. When are you gonna take a public stance and break your silence? Ooh. Are you waiting for that lucrative book deal after your husband leaves office? You know, like in 300 years from now? Or maybe you're not into books and you just want to have your own Netflix show? Or would even just, I don't know, Dancing with the Stars, would that be enough? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we in the comedy business call a callback. And you guys thought I was only teasing at the beginning. Of course, I'm gonna talk more about Carole Baskin. First, I need to come clean and say that I haven't watched Tiger King. Because even during quarantine, I have a life. No, that's a lie. I don't have a life. But still, I have taste. And that is coming from someone who did binge watch Love is Blind on Netflix, so that ought to tell you something. So, now it's time to address dear media. Dear media, it's easy blaming Fox News for all the propaganda and misinformation and lies and conspiracy theories that it is spreading, but it is all of you, dear media, that made Trump president. How come in America it is more upsetting when athletes take a knee or refuse to play a game because they are protesting against police brutality and against racial injustice, and it's not as upsetting when media turn professional liars, former criminals, alleged murderers and rapists into TV personalities, celebrities, slash future or current presidents? Media, you were the ones who gave Trump his reality show, right? His own TV show. A man who had already taken out a one-page ad asking for the death of Central 5, who were innocent, by the way. And now he's president, and he's sending in his own secret police to American cities, asking them to detain peaceful protesters, democratic protesters, while at the same time going on Twitter to encourage his white supremacist friends to go ahead and be violent. I'm sorry, I meant be patriots. You media had Trump on as a guest on all the late night shows, making jokes, having him in sketches, and he had already called Mexican rapists. He had already made fun of the disabled people. Like, Trump always showed you who he was, and yet you lovingly touched his hair, and you must have been so proud that day. I mean, that was some great TV, okay? I can only imagine the numbers. So, who's gonna go next on Dancing with the Stars after Carole Baskin and Sean Spicer, the man who was getting paid to lie to the American people every day? Well, lucky for you, dear audience, I happen to have here a list with a few names ABC is considering as contestants for next year. Number 1, Ghislaine Maxwell, girlfriend to now deceased pedophile and known Trump-friendly acquaintance Jeffrey Epstein. You do know that if Trump gets re-elected, he's gonna pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, right? So who better to face the music in Dancing with the Stars than a woman who co-abused, co-raped, and helped co-traffic underage or very young women. Also, Jonathan Mattingly, Brett Hankison, Miles Cosgrove, they are on the list. If you don't know who these men are, they are the cops who shot and killed Breonna Taylor back in March, and they're probably never gonna, face criminal charges. So why not, help them dance their way into the American hearts and humanize them and cheer for them some more. You know what? I didn't get your list for The Bachelor next year, but I happen to have some ideas of my own. So, how about you choose as The Bachelor like a white supremacist, but like one of those very fine people, right? Like one of the good ones. And then in the house, like one of the female contestants is like a QAnon fan, like believes in that QAnon cult and conspiracy theories, and then she can vomit all those lies and crazy, dangerous ideas on national TV. Twitter is gonna go wild, the ratings will be insane, and then she can go on and run for Congress, and she will probably win, and maybe the year after that we can clone Hitler himself. Who knows? Anyway, moving on to some other news this week, it was announced that Jim Carrey will be playing Joe Biden on SNL this season, and if that's not a good enough reason for you undecided voters to vote for Joe Biden, seriously, I don't know what is. On a personal note, Jim, I haven't had a sexual dream since the primaries when Elizabeth Warren dropped out of the race. So thank you so much, Jim, for awakening my libido. Well, and if that wasn't enough good news in an otherwise shitty week, President Trump is going ahead and he's actually going to ban downloads of TikTok in the US, and I for once am so extremely happy because now all those 21-year-old COVID spreading spring breakers in Florida, they will now be forced to register to vote. Yes! I mean, sure, climate change is real and democracy is dying every day, a little bit more in America, but nothing will affect their lives more than not being able to do the attention dance on TikTok. So thank you, Trump, for giving us some more of that youth vote out. And now for the final portion of the night. Tonight's quiz. This is the $1 trillion question, and it is for you, dear America. The fact that a white supremacist today feels safer walking on your streets than people of color and immigrants is A, an indication that finally we made America great again. B, probably like not the best development, but like it's such a small price to pay, like if you want to live in the #1 country on earth. Or C, totally fucked up. Fascism and white supremacy are not different opinions that should enjoy the protectment of the First Amendment. They are dangerous, criminal ideologies. They spread hatred. They want to actively cause harm to certain communities. And as World War II has already proven, they are a threat to democracy and humanity. So America, what's it gonna be? A, B, or C? What's it gonna be? A, B, or C? Well, tune in for the answer sometime after November 3rd. And that's our show. Until next time, please be kind to yourselves and each other. And please don't take any more wounds. I love you, dear America. I hope you can love me back.